Take the first exit onto Littlefield Street.
That New Orleans team was incredible. So, I understand, but the debate will never be over.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the one thing I'd say about that is, maybe I'm
In a
wrong.
quarter mile, turn left onto Joy
Has
Road.
ever demanded? Has Drew Brees ever demanded? Has Ben Roethlisberger, I think, did? Brady would. You can still win with a quarterback that's not demanding more.
No, you can, sure you can. But the other thing is, with those teams had
Incompetent.
they were competent
Yeah, they were
organizations. Yeah.
I mean, I could see that argument to a degree. I just
At the
think
next stop sign, turn left.
if they get a win in the playoffs, that takes away the majority of the ammunition of what was fired at us from last night. The majority, maybe not all of it, but the majority of the ammunition was mostly fired at me. To be clear, it wasn't a sports dream, but the thought crossed my mind. When I am reading scouting reports
At the stop sign,
Kayvon
turn
Thibodeau,
left onto Joy Road.
and thinking how much I would like the Lions to get him in the next draft.
The defensive end from Oregon.
Yes. And what a complete player he is and how great everybody thinks he's going to be. And I go, oh, but they need a
In
quarterback.
2.1 miles,
And then I just
turn
remind
right
myself,
onto
well,
Southfield
let's just
Freeway
take
frontage
both.
road.
Because I want the Rams to go 0-17 and the Lions to go 2, and they have the first 2 picks of the draft and take Thibodeau and Spencer Rattler, or Thibodeau and Sam Howell. Like, actually get to live out that dream of having 2 incredibly high picks and making 2 impactful picks like that. That's the ideal scenario. And Stafford suck along the way, and all you Stafford callers, I don't really wish him ill will, but all you Stafford callers can call up and say, see, I told you. And if I told you, nets us like 2 of the top 5 picks, or 1 and 2, or 1 and 3, or 1 and 4. Awesome.
You know, it's funny when you say that you get the top 2 picks. That happened with the Indianapolis Colts in the 90s, and they had the top 2 picks, right? And they took, was it Quentin Coriat and Steve Entman that they took? I think that's who they took. And clearly that didn't work out for the Colts. And they end up with a top pick again later on. They get Peyton Manning.
Hello.
Hey, I was looking at some of your notes from that Wyoming 15717 Wyoming.
Yep.
So what's going on there? Like, is that about like
It
the
looks like
bricks and everything? That wasn't on the job originally, I didn't think. And then
no. I talked to the guy there, Rodney,
okay,
and he said that they tore that asphalt up and said it was dirt, but it wasn't. It was originally asphalt, and they never repaired that. And then where the meter is, right next to where the meter is, there's a pile of cinder blocks and a pole. That when they poured the concrete, they didn't put the other pole in. So there's supposed to be 2 poles, they only put 1.
okay.
They left the other one laying there, and then there used to be a small cinder block wall in front of the meter there. And they never put that wall back up.
Okay, yeah, because I mean, okay, yeah, because our before pictures obviously doesn't show all of that there. So that was between. Oh.
I mean, it had to have been there. I mean, if you look on Google Maps, it's got to be there because, I mean,
Okay.
I could see where the door used to hit it.
Okay.
The cinder block.
Also, it was like more like street level.
Yeah, it went along the front of the building. It's extended out from the front of the building a little bit to the side to block that meter.
Oh, okay.
If you look on that one picture I put in, you can kind of see on the wall where it went, where it used to be attached to the wall.
Okay, yeah. Oh. Yeah, that was definitely not on our work scope.
Yeah, so have to ask for additional funding on that one, I would think, because it's. The other one was definitely asphalt too. It wasn't dirt. And it was covered. It's covered in dirt, but there's asphalt underneath it. You can see where they put in the curb. They broke out a little bit of the asphalt around it.
Oh, so that whole curb area is supposed to be cemented?
That between the two approaches into it's a car wash, and those two approaches in between there, that whole area was supposed to be asphalt.
Oh, and not cement?
Well, we didn't do anything to it.
Oh, yeah, where the clone was. Yeah, because we created a new job at Edgar. We're supposed to do that, but it's supposed to be asphalt. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he would care if it was cemented. He just doesn't like that hole there.
Yeah, no, Edgar was supposed to go back to do that, because it was missed. And I know they were talking about it to him, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he wouldn't care. He'd probably prefer it to be cement, but originally it was asphalt. And then that's what.
That address is on his scope tomorrow and Saturday to do that.
Well,
but I'll call Nick and.
Yeah, because the meter patch, there's that little spot where the meter is. That's probably gonna have to get tore out again, and so they can put both poles in.
And then the wall.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll give him a call and see. I'll probably just put an AWR for that area. Because, I mean, like when they scoped it out, they didn't say anything about bricks or.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
At the light, turn right onto Southfield Freeway Frontage Road. Then keep left to merge onto M39 North. Use the left lane to keep left to merge onto M39 North.
Hey everybody, Jay Farmer here, CEO of Rocket Mortgage and Rocket Companies. Last year we saw historically low mortgage interest rates. In fact, over 1 million
In 6.8 miles, take exit 16 on the left to merge onto M10 North toward I-696 West.
Interest rates are already starting to increase again, and it's likely that trend is only going to continue. Our team of experts is standing by to help you save before rates go up. With an official mortgage review from Rocket Mortgage, you'll see just how much money you could save by making a move right now. Don't look back over these next few weeks and wish that you had taken action. You could save hundreds on your mortgage payments or pay off your home loan earlier than planned. You could even take cash out of your home to pay off high interest debt, complete home repairs, or bulk
lane to take exit 16 on the left to merge onto
In the last
M10
10
north
years,
toward
right?
I-696 west.
Exact same thing. Go ahead.
In the last 10 years, how many seasons has Stafford missed a game due to injury? In the last 10 years.
How many seasons has he?
Yeah. He's played a full 16 games. How many seasons in the last 10 years?
9 of the 10.
Yeah. He missed 8 games.
8 games.
Exit left.
Because of
Back injury.
Yeah. And did he play through injuries? Absolutely, he played through injuries, which is, and you want your guy to do it, although there were times where, like, you don't need to keep playing.
But here's the deal, though. This is what happens with every Stafford conversation and why we've probably had an embargo. The first call we get when we lifted the embargo
Inaccurate.
is an inaccurate criticism of Matthew Stafford.
You can criticize him all you want,
Plenty to choose from.
but don't say he missed a bunch of games when he didn't.
No, I don't think he's perfect. Don't get me wrong by that. I can take shots at him, too. I just think when you look at quarterbacks around the league, guys worse than this win playoff games, and it's in large part because their organizations are more competent.
Well, when you read the list off earlier, and Stafford was number 6 overall,
Yeah.
is that what they think he's going to be this year? Or is
No,
that
that's what the NFL players, I'm going to have to go find those.
See, that's what doesn't make sense to me. All of a sudden, we thought maybe, and around here, you know, people that hate him thought he was like a lower third quarterback, which is not true.
Right.
We probably thought he wasn't great, but just kind of
He's good,
that
not
great,
great.
you know.
He flashes of
Definitely
greatness.
above average, you know. But now that he goes to the Rams, he's one of the great quarterbacks. Like, the top 6 is really, really good. You know, like, that's the upper echelon of the league.
Is the Rams offense
He
that
hasn't
set
done
up?
anything with the Rams yet.
Right. Is the Rams offense that set up for success?
But did he get that much better? He didn't do anything. He got older. And I'm not saying he's not going to have success out there, but how do you go from, I don't know, 13, 12 range
To 6.
to 6? What, just changing
You know what
where
it
you
is?
live?
Because you can have a great season, and even Schrager said this. When he thought where you could be in a conversation for MVP seasons when he was on bad teams in Detroit. But if you're on a good team and you play well, you don't have to play great. You can play well. You're going to be in the conversation because as a quarterback, you're the face of the franchise. So you get noticed because you're on a good team. So the Rams are clearly a better team than the Lions. They're playoff bound typically, right? The Rams make the playoffs, and if they're having that type of season, and Stafford has his typical close to 5,000 passing year, maybe he's improved his turnover rate, he's going to be in the conversation. But it's because of the team that he's on. I don't think necessarily because of the individual player to see from him.
The ranking, Kang, to answer your question, that landed Stafford 6th in the NFL is from ESPN. We surveyed more than 50 league executives, coaches, scouts, and players to help us stack up the top 10 players at each position. Here's how our process worked. Voters gave us their best 10 to 15 players at a position. Then we compiled the results and ranked the candidates based on number of top 10 votes, composite average, and interviews, research, film study, help from ESPN NFL analyst Matt Bowen. We had several ties, so we broke them by isolating the two-man matchup with additional voting and follow-up calls. The objective is to identify the best players right now for 2021. It's not a 5-year projection or an achievement award. Who's the best today? Pretty simple. Quarterbacks, Mahomes 1, Aaron Rodgers 2, Tom Brady 3, Russell Wilson 4, Josh Allen 5, Matthew Stafford 6.
Do you have the rest of the top 10 on
Down 7, Lamar Jackson 8, Justin Herbert 9, Kyler Murray 10. Others receiving votes, Matt Ryan, Derek Carr, Ben Roethlisberger, Ryan Tannehill, Joe Burrow, Kirk Cousins, Baker Mayfield, and Carson Wentz.
And obviously no Deshaun Watson on the list at all.
Right.
So, I mean, look, does it feel like he's now more beloved than he was when he was here? Yep.
Well, nationally, there's always been love for him. I mean, you see it you see it on Sundays for all the pundits on the pregame shows. They love Stafford. They hate the Lions, but
And
they love Stafford.
it stands to reason that now that he's on a team that's expected to compete, he's getting a lot more feedback. The Stafford love is incredibly irritating. It just goes to show how much Detroit is a national black hole. All it took was for him to get out of town to start getting the attention he deserved. Stafford! No, Doug, it will just intensify the debate. You'll retire talking about Matt Stafford.
It's true.
If Stafford does good, I'll only be mad because that could have been us if we weren't stuck with the thorns.
You know what's funny? They lost to the Packers in the playoffs. And Stafford can't beat the Packers. I don't know what they're thinking. Bad moves. Good for us, though. I'll take the picks.
Go ahead, Doc. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. it to him.
Brian in Detroit. Hi, Brian.
Man, y'all must have lost y'all mind.
That's the one you take.
Any list that got him number 6 has lost all credibility. He has done nothing to deserve to get on the list, and the coach might be worse than him. The coach is the offensive genius. He gets to the Super Bowl and get 3 points. Man, those are the two guys. McVay and Stafford are the guys. There's always will be what could have been or what we might do. No success, but what we might do.
Just real quick there,
Have a list
Brian.
together.
Brian, we got a lot of people we want to get to. I want to ask you.
Okay.
This rating was done by NFL coaches, executives, scouts, and players.
What that mean? There's a whole lot of guys in the league that got jobs that they shouldn't have at all. They don't know what they're doing. And Lions is a good example of guys that got jobs that shouldn't have jobs. They're working for the Lions over
Okay,
here.
but this
I
is
didn't expect that. I did not expect that from
Just
him.
because
more than 50. You say more than 50. The majority of these guys don't know what they're doing.
listen, just because we have executives behind your name don't make you good at your job.
But all of them,
And if
Brian?
you need that, okay, listen, all I know is I'm having a good winner when they fail in, when Matt Stafford fail, I'm having a great winner because I know that don't go fail because they're going to do something wrong.
Well, I hope he fails in the regular
Fails
season.
miserably, so you can-
Regular season failure is what we're looking for. Ron in Bluefield Township. Hi, Ron.
Hi, I'm glad you're having this discussion
You
another
sure?
time because I couldn't get in last time. Anyway, I got a thought about Stafford that I've had ever since I got familiar with this game. Put him on a field with nobody else but receivers. Throw any distance there is, and he'll be as good as there is. Put him in an actual game, and he lacks one thing. He's not a born quarterback. Born great quarterbacks can do what he can't do. He's not an improviser. He's not a guy. I can't judge his picking receivers because we don't see that watching it on TV. But I watched Otto Graham every game he played in Cleveland.
That's the other way.
And that's what Stafford lacks. Quarterbacks are special. And great quarterbacks are born
Graham had it.
special.
Graham had it.
Give us an auto Graham blast, Gator.
I mean,
You can do it.
I was going to say, wait for it. Didn't need it.
They didn't need to say it.
All
And it
you need
happened
to
on its
say
own.
is Otto Graham.
Otto Graham.
Otto effing Graham.
You watched Otto Graham.
He had it.
Otto Graham
You
had
know
it.
it. He had it.
You put him on Sunday Night Football, he wasn't backing down. You put him in that wild card game, Otto Graham can handle it.
You remember Otto Graham in the Super Bowl?
Yep.
No, you don't, because
I
he's
don't.
too damn old to play in the Super Bowl.
Even called the Super Bowl.
I remember in the NFL championship game.
There you go.
Does the embargo go back into effect right now?
Gator looks like he's done. I mean, what? No, let's. We got Otto Graham and we got Brian. I mean, sometimes you take Brian first, which is hilarious. And what does Brian do? Brian does what Brian does and outdoes himself every time. To the point where he's
called everybody in the
called
league.
out the panel on this. He's incompetent. Like, if you're going to put together a panel of people to evaluate players in the league, where would you go to get the most credible panel? Would you go with coaches, scouts, players,
Executives.
Yeah, would you do that? I probably would.
I probably would. Now,
I think it's a pretty good panel to go
Are there
with.
some morons in there?
Sure.
Probably.
Sure.
But enough to rank Stafford 6th best in the NFL? Hey, Brian thinks they're all morons.
The embargo is lifted for the rest of the show.
No.
Rest of the show.
Don't get carried away.
Come on.
97.1.
Yeah, I want to play that new Michigan Lottery Instant game. You know, the one with the real easy name. Cash game? Yeah, it's like Buck something. Buck, I think it's... Cash game. Yeah, you can win $1 million instantly. I want to say it's called Loot. Cash game? You know, the one that has over $44 million in total prizes. What's it called? Is it, It's Cash Game. No. Yes. New cash game from the Michigan Lottery. Easy name, easy game. Oh, I got it. No, that's not it. Then put some cash play in your day. Knowing your limits is always the best bet.
Have you experienced basement leaks? Water is more than annoying. It can cause damage to your home and foundation. It starts at your roofline and can collect around your home, causing a mess in your basement or crawl space. Call Foundation Systems of Michigan. We are experts in managing water around your home. From gutters to waterproofing solutions, we have a full line of products to put an end to your water problems for good.
If you're looking for a place to call home, let North Bloomfield Properties find the best place for you and your family. We also provide pre-screened quality tenants to our property owners. We love to match good people to good homes. Contact us today, northbloomfield.com.
Get amped for big games with the best tracks from rock and more. Troy Hughes Stadium Anthems, the new Odyssey exclusive station. Get it on the Odyssey app today. And the ticket signing bonus, $1,000 11 times each weekday. Powered by BetQL. Win more and cash in more with the help of BetQL. Download the BetQL app today to learn more. That's BETQL. Listen for the keyword at 1/2 each hour between 7 a.m. and 6 p.m. Text that keyword to 72881 before the end of that hour. Message and data rates apply. And you could win a $1,000 signing bonus on 97.1 The Ticket. WXYT FM and WXYT HD1 Detroit. An Odyssey station. Sports headlines. All day, every day. From the Sold by Mike Z Sports Desk. This is 97.1 The Ticket.
Brought to you by Moran Buick GMC. Some low scores happening in the first round of the Open Championship in the morning wave. Louis Oosthuizen karting a 64 to get to a 6-under par start. Jordan Spieth 5 under. Brian Harman 5 under as well. Dustin Johnson shoots a 68 for a score of 2 under par. Sergio Garcia does the same. The PGA champion Jon Rahm, a rough start to his front nine, but he bounces back with a birdie on the last to shoot 1 over. Bryson DeChambeau, a 1 over score of 71 as well. Meanwhile, Phil Mickelson, a bad start to his round. He made 3 straight bogeys on the 3rd, 4th, and 5th holes to begin his afternoon. Another story of domestic violence coming from the NFL. This time, the player was on the receiving end. Quarterback Dwayne Haskins of the Pittsburgh Steelers assaulted by his wife, according to multiple reports. She faces felony charges of battery and domestic violence after Haskins suffered a split upper lip, missing a tooth, and other injuries as well. He's going to require dental work to repair his teeth, apparently. According to the report, Haskins says he remembers getting into the fight with his wife, but doesn't remember getting punched in the mouth. Officers searched the room to find a piece of his tooth and blood. In another story, waiting for an update on the Richard Sherman situation, the free agent quarterback arrested after breaking into his in-laws' house and, according to his wife in a 911 call obtained by TMZ, threatened suicide. She had to plead on the call that if police arrived not to shoot him after he claimed he would fight any law enforcement. Sherman has been in a correctional facility in Seattle, according to records, and was denied bail after being charged with burglary domestic violence. At the Ticket Update Desk, I'm Chris Villar. For more, stay tuned to 97.1 The Ticket and Odyssey.com.
Live from the Jamie Samuelson studio, Karsh and Anderson on 97.1 The Ticket.
On a day in which perhaps we have made a huge mistake, we've sat here idly and listened to the national media talk and talk and talk about our former guy. And we have had a pretty hardline embargo going on in this program with Stafford calls. It's because we know how it works. You take one Stafford call, it begets 10 more. Because he was so polarizing and sparked so much difference of opinion. But today, Kang, we talked about a pre-show. We agreed, let's lift the embargo, maybe for a segment, maybe for 2. Stafford! And we can do it the entire rest of the show. Gator wants to do that. I do not want to do it the entire rest of the show.
Here's what I hate about the national media with the role in all this. What I think is murdering us here in Detroit. I blame the media for listening to Sean McVay. I've become so anti-McVay over the last couple of years. It's not just because it's over the last couple of years. And with the trade of, Stafford to the Rams and Goff and the picks coming here, and the way things ended last year with the Rams, it's clear Sean McVay was using Jared Goff as a scapegoat for the issues they had with the Rams offense.
It'll be great because it means we got a gem at quarterback, perhaps.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying beware that he might not be anywhere near as bad as you think he is, because I think all this stems from whatever comes out of not Jared Goff, but Sean McVay's mouth. NFL people love Sean McVay. They love him. He was the new hotness and young coaching. Everybody from his staff was getting coaching gigs everywhere else. And then the team changed with injuries and whatnot. In free agency, they lost a lot of players, and the team wasn't as good. So he God forbid it was him or the offense. He needed to find something else. No, it was Jared Goff. That was the problem. And now what is he going to goes out and gets his next shiny toy? I'll get Stafford. Here we go. We're ready to go now. Okay, maybe they will, maybe they won't. They were actually still a playoff team last year, despite being saddled with Jared Goff, who won the playoff game with a surgically repaired thumb just a couple weeks earlier. So I blame McVay and the media on this.
So, Kang, do you realize how awful it's going to be for our guy here if the Rams actually win a Super Bowl?
Oh, yeah, I've doubled down now.
Yeah.
I was going to say,
It's gotten personal.
you know what I mean?
This isn't about family. Yeah, it definitely got personal.
Yeah.
248-539-9797.
That guy.
I mean, here's from an unnamed texter that kind of sums it up. I know preseason rankings and lists mean nothing, but how is it for 11 years on, every list Stafford was on, he was in the 10 to 16 range of top quarterbacks. Yet now, he's out of town and he's top 10?
That's what I was saying. It doesn't... What is this?
It's because he's going to go to a good team. And people, there you go. It's about the team. It's not about the player. But no, it is about the player. Why? Because of the team. No, it's him. Shut up.
We go to Scott in Westland. You're on 97.1. Hi, Scott.
Yes, how are you today?
What's up?
Fired up.
Nice. Long-time listener. I've called in a few times just to jog Gator's memory. I'm 87, have a Zach Brown beard, and want to give you a history lesson. That's me, guys. So here's my plug. So just real quick, I'm a big Stafford supporter, always have been, but this transition, I think it's going to be better for us here. And I've got 2 shoot-the-boot guarantees. One, if Stafford is the MVP, I think I'll dodge that bullet. But if Stafford wins a playoff game this upcoming season, I will shoot the boot.
I wouldn't make that bet. That's a bold bet.
That is a bold.
I'm going out there, man. I think Goff is a little bit underrated, like you were saying with McVay. But I just watching him over the course of his career in town, he fails at a massive level under pressure, especially when it comes to playoffs. So I just don't see him making that transition over. Thanks again for taking my call, guys.
When did
What was
Stafford...
your other one? He had 2.
Well, his 2 was MVP and win a playoff game.
Gotcha.
When did, just out of curiosity, he fails under pressure in the playoffs. When do you think he failed under pressure in the playoffs?
Well, let's see. Anytime he's been to one, which has been how many times?
They were always... he never led him to the upset victory. A, they were always an underdog. And B, the only time there was really pressure, because the 3 of the 4 losses they had, were against teams that were way better than them. The only one that they competed as a team where there might have been pressure on Stafford was the Dallas game. And he did not come through. I'm not going to argue he did. But then he gets tagged with he fails under pressure in the playoffs.
Well, they were 0-3 when he went to the playoffs.
So New Orleans beat the crap out of him. New Orleans was a way better team. Agree?
So I'm not going to disagree with that. He did throw 2 interceptions in that game, but
What about Seattle?
Seattle was the 2016 game.
Yeah, Seattle was a way better team than them. The Dallas game was the only game.
But Stafford didn't even did nothing in that game.
No.
He threw for 200 yards and no touchdowns. 75 rating.
The only game I would put a little bit on Stafford and put some on Stafford when it comes to the playoffs is the Dallas game. He had the ball late. Their offense had the ball with him at the helm with a chance to do what he did in the regular season a bunch. Just lead a come from behind victory, and he didn't. That is, I think, one sample. And I wish he had more.
Sure, but the problem is that when you see somebody come out and rank him 6th, or you see some publication come out and rank him 6th, if you're going to do that, you've got to tell me this quarterback is somebody who makes everybody else around him better. That they'll overcome the adversity.
Exactly,
and that's not what he did.
That are better than him.
Yeah, he's way overrated at 6. I think he was appropriately rated around 12.
Just a cat.
And he's underrated when you get to 20.
I can't wrap my head around what just happened with this Stafford poll and how he is 6th. Because I am the biggest Stafford fan on the station. I wouldn't have put him 6th. And this is a large sample of people in the game that have ranked him 6th.
If you have to come up with like a different criteria, and you would have to like baseball. You've got the 5 tools, right? What would it be for quarterbacks? Be arm strength, accuracy,
probably mobility,
sure, leadership, and you know what? You got those, okay? Durability, sure, okay. That's good 5 tools. Out of any of those, he certainly proved himself to be durable, even though he's been banged up a little bit, but only missed 8 games the last 10 years. I'd say he's pretty durable. His arm strength is unquestioned. Yep. But it's everything else.
I think his accuracy is above average. His mobility is lacking. His leadership could be called into question. I
don't know if his accuracy is above average. I think it might be average.
I think it's above average. Way above average. But I don't think it's elite, but I think it's way above average. And the leadership, I could see that being called into question from a not making demands of the organization. It's so weird. You think about the Lions and their best players, Calvin, Barry, Stafford. In our lifetime, that's just 3 of them. Offensive guys, high-profile guys. None of them were making demand of the organization kind of guys.
No.
2 of them walked away because they didn't want to make
No, and to be fair, with that criticism of Stafford, did he demand we have to get this guy? No, but you know what he did do? He redid his contract all the time.
He did. And clearly Aaron Rodgers is making demands of an organization that he thinks is not doing their part of the job.
Right.
I mean, that's led them to where they are.
I think part of leadership, too, is just elevating the play around you. There's guys that don't even have to say anything, and the players around them just play better. Guys are more vocal. Tom Brady, even when his skills aren't the same. Every team, I know he goes to teams that have good players, but it's not like New England had Pro Bowl receivers all the time, you know? He made his team. His offensive line was always good when he was under center because they played better for Tom Brady. That's part of leadership, too. It's not always the vocal demanding things. That's part of it.
But I guess when I did my thing with the 5 different areas you can look at, when it comes down to it, he's not elite for sure. And I think he would certainly fall outside of the top 10 when you average all that stuff together. You can weight some more heavily than others, whatever, but because he isn't mobile. Because, I mean, you and I will disagree on the accuracy part, and the leadership, is he making everybody else around him better? No. I mean, do his teammates like him? Yeah, I think his teammates like him, but they didn't do spectacular things for him. They weren't better for him.
Are we done with the Stafford calls?
Sure.
Are you? Let's see. Let me look and see here. Okay, Lions will screw it up. Does things down. Most players who leave here do well. That's an interesting one. I have to take into account the quarterbacks that have fallen off. Let's take Jay. Let's take Jay.
Well, we'll do Jay now. The one that's offended?
Yeah.
I haven't missed this. I'm just going to say for the record, chance to win $1,000 at 1:30. We'll get to Jay's call. Jay's offended. 97.1.
We asked people in Michigan why they got the COVID-19 vaccine.
Because I am pregnant and we wanted to protect our baby boy. I believe in the science.
Protect my friends and help our community.
I'm ready to get back to somewhat normal.
I want to hug my grandma again.
COVID-19 vaccines are tested for safety and trusted by doctors. Find a vaccine near you at michigan.gov/COVID vaccine. A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. The Michigan Department of Health and Human Services would like to remind you that when you get your COVID-19 vaccine, there may be side effects, like cash prizes, a free vacation, or a trip to the Super Bowl. For a limited time, when you get your vaccine at select area pharmacies, you'll be eligible to win a treasure trove of amazing prizes. Don't miss your shot to win big. Schedule your vaccine today. For details, visit michigan.gov/vax2win.
Hey Detroit, it's Tanya Lalonde from Lalonde Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram with exciting news. Our brand new facility in Emily City is finally complete. We're all moved in and we're open to the public. One of the biggest benefits of building a have more than enough Chryslers, Dodges, Jeeps, and Rams for everyone. But don't get me wrong, we still want your trade more than ever. And we'll give you up to 125% of Kelley Blue Book value for your trade-in. In fact, whatever you've been offered for your trade, we'll beat it. But your credit's not so good, but you still owe money on your trade, but you can't afford a large down payment? Lalonde, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram kicks those butts every day. So if you want the best car at the best price with the best experience, come see us today at the all-new Lalonde, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram in beautiful Imlay City, Michigan. Call 810-724-0444 or click LaLondeChrysler.com.
Match trade with purchase of select amounts. Negative trade equity financing in law. Subject to lender approval.
For the ones who know that a little late is always too late. And that the clock doesn't stop just because you're missing a part. Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry. And our Keep Stock inventory management solutions help ensure you have the right stuff in the right place at exactly the right time. Visit Grainger.com/keepstock to learn more. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Heard you're buying a car. I brought my calculator.
Dad, I already used Capital One Auto Navigator. I found my car online and got pre-qualified instantly, instead of all that.
You know those things impact your credit score.
Didn't impact my credit score, Dad. Now I'm going to the dealership for a test drive and to make the purchase.
Sounds too easy.
No, it's just easy. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms and conditions apply. Find out more at CapitalOne.com/autonavigator. For the ones who get going when the going gets tough. And the ones who know we're tougher together. For the Pathfinders breaking new ground. Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as fast access to experts and 24/7 customer support. Because we know you have people depending on you. So you can always depend on us. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
What makes AutoZone America's #1 battery destination?
Hello? Well, getting close. Still. What's that? Okay. Nope. Okay. Bye. What the fuck are we waiting for?
Coaching a team. That's something that comes out after you've retired, right? Maybe after Stafford's done playing in the league. You go, yeah, what could have been? Well, we tried to make a move and we just didn't get it, and here's what happened. We thought we We were told that nothing's going to happen overnight, and next thing I know, he's been traded. And right under my nose while I was vacationing in Mexico, and look, there's Sean McVay, there's Matthew Stafford.
That was frustrating, Shanahan said. Everyone was telling me it was a possibility, and Stafford is the man. I studied him hard out of college, and we played against him, so I know how good he is. More here from. I'm just kind of working my way through.
It's frustrating.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd say that when I also have a quarterback. You do have to try and win with the guy that you got.
Yeah.
All right, here's a call from Jay in Detroit, Yard 97.1. Hi, Jay.
Hey guys, thanks for taking my call.
Sure. Jay.
So, I was the one who was offended, obviously, you know that, and I'm going to tell you why. I go out every day, and I earn what I got, and I work really hard, and what offends me is that somebody in this world got paid money to make a list, and on that list, they claim that there are 25 starting quarterbacks in the NFL that are worse than Dak Prescott. Are you serious? Dak Prescott had way more talent around him and did significantly less than Stafford has done with less talent. How is this dude going to say that there's 25 starting quarterbacks in the NFL that they would not take over Dak Prescott?
Jay, it wasn't a dude. It was a list. You didn't hear how this list was made?
No, I did. So it was multiple people and multiple reasons, you know, the head-to-heads, the stats,
More than
the
just
everything, right?
But his point is somebody from ESPN has to compile this list, and they're responsible for publishing it.
But they talked to over 50 executives, coaches, scouts, and players to make this list.
Well, that's even worse then, because they're all getting paid money to answer these questions and make these opinions and everything.
Jay wanted an editorial paragraph before this and said, look, for what it's worth, this is the data we compile, put together, this is what's spit out. Not what I think.
Right. I mean, do you guys personally agree with that there's 25 quarterbacks that are worse than Dak Prescott?
I think Dak's overrated.
Yeah. Extremely.
I don't know if I would say extremely. I think he's a very talented quarterback, but at the same time, he's also been gifted in his lifetime as a quarterback with an outstanding offensive line at times.
You know what it is, Jerry?
Arguably the best running back at a time, and some really good receivers.
I think they look at it completely differently than we do. Like, I think a defensive coach would say, well, when we played the Cowboys, we had to cover for so much more because of Dak's capability. He can make this throw, that throw, the third throw. He was mobile in the pocket. We saw him change plays and diagnose a defense. They're looking at things that we probably aren't looking at that make them put Dak or Stafford, probably Stafford, somewhere on this list.
I just don't see it with Dak's accuracy. I feel like he's like that Chris Middleton meme where they're making right now. Like, he's either playing like Michael Jordan or he's playing like, some guy on the bench. It's one or the other. It's never consistent. It's the same thing with Dak. He either has those games where, oh, look, he threw for 300 yards and his passer rating's 110. And then the next week it'll be like,
all right, Jay, let me ask you this. Why do you hate the Cowboys?
I mean, because I'm from Detroit.
All right. Thanks for taking my call. It's not just that.
That's good. Yeah. So Stafford, the highest ranking. So when everybody sent in did their rankings, the highest Stafford was ranked, 4th. The lowest he was ranked was 13th.
Where was Brady's high and low?
Brady's highest ranking was 1. His lowest ranking was 6.
Okay.
Mahomes' highest ranking was 1. His lowest ranking was 3.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Rodgers.
Highest ranking was 1. Lowest ranking was 4.
Okay. And you get a sense, with that kind of talk, you get a sense that when words like elite get thrown out there, you reserve it for a very few. There are elite quarterbacks, and then there's a tier behind that.
Like Kang did something I didn't mention at the time, but I thought it was completely unfair. He said, well, look what Tom Brady does with guys in New England. He made guys that weren't great players better around him because he's Tom Brady. And I'm like, yeah, if you're going to compare him to Brady, he's not as good. Hello?
But they are comparing him to Brady. He's in the top tier quarterbacks is basically what
he's behind Brady.
Okay.
And everybody knows it.
Not that close, though.
Trump?
Well, what if there's... King, to my point is I think there's